Hello and welcome to Star Citizen Sunday. This is a weekly show which covers all the news from Star Citizen from the week just past. I am your host Mac, so let's get on with it. This week, Reverse the Verse talks about the future of rest stop stations, plus CIG want your thoughts on Alpha 3.5. So this week's Reverse the Verse was looking into the future of rest stops, or the R&R space stations that we have dotted around all the Lagrange points around the current PU. Now they're working on an expansion of the modular rest stops, basically planning to change their design and make them all visually unique. This will be using the procedural tools as well, but they want a couple more variations from the current R&R brand, basically creating a higher end version and a lower end version. This is what they tend to do. They create a low, middle of the ground and high end styles in many areas of the game, and then as they go on they'll fill in the gaps of variation. So they use a Google Doc to work out some of the questions like branding, some flavour, reasons for us to go and visit one R&R over another, what companies you should find in these locations and so on. They also mention about naval bases or military stations. These are obviously not rest and recovery. You won't be able to go and stay at these, but they're specifically going to be over, say, planets that have the Fair Chance Act applied. So basically allowing the evolving native races to evolve without human interference. Some of them will have some rooms that you can rent and sleep if you need to log off. The Cryastro, which was one that we used to have during 2.6 and so forth, this is likely to be maybe a competitor to the current R&R style station that we have now. But in terms of high-end, they're looking at maybe the CTR logo, which we've seen around. This is an in-law company, which it's very similar to an R&R station, but it's the first ever Jean-owned business in human space. So we could see that as a high-end style R&R station, mainly because we relate Jean Tech as like MISC incorporated ships, and it's quite high-end. The Banu, for example, would have trade station or marketplaces in space, and they would like to show how humans could have absorbed some of the alien species designs over the years. But high-end could mean that they have their own branding rather than having multiple brands all in together. Maybe the Revel and York hangar brand could be one that owns the rights to some of the R&R. But for high-end, you would expect to see clothing stores, hair salons, maybe a lot more windows and sunrooms, maybe even medical treatment areas or art installments and galleries, maybe someone playing piano, but also things like ponds, plants, and maybe even gardens, which I think would be really nice for a space station. For low-end, they want to try and figure out a way of making low-end stations look like the low-end, but without just making them dirty and crappy. Maybe just making them with less quality amenities and businesses, and found in areas of space where people don't tend to go, like the frontiers. Maybe the low-end places could hold some shady jobs, have fewer personnel, maybe more automation or automated services with less people there, and instead of having restaurants, they could have vending machines and just have less branded names. Now this sort of showed an insight into how they create these sort of Google documents from the lore standpoint, and then it gets handed off to developers who will then use that as a ground base to design them. Very interested to see these come along. I know 3.6 was supposed to getting the exterior expansions of these stations, so I expect from that point on we'll start seeing them changing and getting more variation to them as well. I do like the rest stops, so it's going to be interesting to see what designs they come up with. Do let me know in the comments below what you would like to see from these R&R stations. But with that said, that's our TV, let's move on. So also this week we had a new Star Watch post titled Hidden Gems, but I am yet to read this, so please no spoilers. During our emails we got some cool UI choices for the multi-tool, which I think you can go and vote on. And finally there was a 3.5 feedback survey with multiple threads which include things like the most annoying bug, or your thoughts on ships and FPS combat, your thoughts on mining, commodity trading, racing, the economy, the mission system, and Arena Commander and Star Marine, plus a survey just in general for 3.5 that everyone can fill out. These threads are there to help dial in and get the game into a much more playable state for everyone. It is so important, and I applaud CIG for creating this survey, as we are the voice, and if there's anything that annoys us or annoys you about the game, now's your chance to go in and just leave your feedback and vote what other people have posted as well. Always do that, make sure you're not just repeating what other people have said. But if there's something you feel missing, let them know, and hopefully they'll start dialing that in and giving us more content, or at least more stable content. So just before I go, a Star Citizen Sunday will not be on Sunday next week, but sometime earlier the week after, along with the roadmap update as well. The next weekend is Britizencon, which is a fan-organised event held in Manchester at the Museum of Science and Industry. I will be there hosting the official live stream with Miserable G, so be sure to catch that on the 27th of April around about 11 AM. During the event there will be many panels with CIG devs, so if you can make it, be sure to pick up a ticket using the link in the description. Also join us on the day before at the Brewhouse and Kitchen in Wilmslow for the pre-Britizencon Bar Citizen. All the details for this can be found at barcitizen.se, again linked below. Hope to see you all there, and do let me know in the comments if you are going. So that brings us to the end of the show. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a video. Hit that thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and share the video with all your friends. If you like what I do and want to help me make it better, follow the link below to my Patreon page to learn more.